Welcome back to the news at 10. Now, to discuss the state of the nation as the country marks Democracy Day today, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by a professor of political science, Leeds City University, Ibadan, Professor Alaba Ogunsanwo. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10 today.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's begin from the president's broadcast. You saw him come out strong there, talking about making terrorism, abolishing terrorism. And the words he used there were waging war against terrorism, using all means necessary, but under the law. How do you react to that approach?
I think it's a straightforward approach. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and he has told the Nigerian people that he has given instruction that this terrorism, which we have seen in terms of destruction of lives and property, as well as the abduction of human beings, the schoolgirls who were abducted in Borno State, that this has to be brought to an end. But they must do it within the law. The armed forces know what that means. They operate, they have their rules of engagement, and they operate in such a way that they handle situations not like Boko Haram would handle them. Boko Haram is behaving as a group that does not believe in the rules of the law of armed conflict, which the president is bound to observe, yes. And his armed forces are also bound to observe. So by saying that he has given them instruction to deal with the matter, taking into consideration the law itself, he said the right thing. But you know, there are those, of course, who will say that that's not what they were waiting for. They were waiting for him to say what action has been taken in order to bring the girls out.
The Chibok girls now.
Yes, I don't think that the president can say that on television, that this is what we have done, we have not yet succeeded.
We'll get to that, but I'm going to come to that. Looking at our democracy 15 years on, many people say we've had many setbacks, particularly political setbacks. If you listen to the president today, he was talking about people trying to bring down his government, either through terrorism, etc. Are we making progress as a nation? Let's establish that first.
I think I would agree with you that we have had civilian rule since 1999. I will not use the word democracy. I don't intend to do that. We have had the civilians in control. They have their objectives and goals. The objective is to capture power. And on the basis of what they have done at various levels, we have seen that primitive accumulation is the primary goal. And when you do that in an environment of impunity, that there is no accountability, then anything goes.
So you're saying our 15 years has been more of capturing power than development or anything else?
That's exactly what, because the politicians are in control, and it is what they want to do that they are doing. So to that extent, the question is not about deepening democracy, you know, or making it, because they are not Democrats. We don't have Democrats. So let me not go into that. As I said to you, I think let's just assume that, accept that civilians are in control, and they are doing their best in terms of the way they look at it. Governance is for power, and once you have the power, you use it the way you want. That's why it is a matter of do or die, to use Obasanjo's language, life and death. And so when you have a polity in which that is what politicians believe in, then we cannot talk about deepening democracy.
Let me come to security, which is one of the biggest threats to this deepening of democracy that we're talking about today. Looking at the Chibok experience, for instance, that's one of the biggest things that has become global. We saw the Chief of Defense Staff there saying that they have an idea where the girls are. For some reason, they can't go in. It's all, you know, military lingo and terms. But then we heard from former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and I'm just going to quote what he said there. He said, "I'll be pleasantly surprised if all the Chibok girls are intact in one location at this time."
That's purely commonsensical.
What did you say about our handling of security issues 15 years ago?
That's purely commonsensical, what he has said. They cannot all be in one place now, because the people who are holding them know that attempts may be made to get them rescued. And on that basis, they know what to do. They would have scattered them. That the military knows where they are in the Sambisa forest is also a statement of fact. The governor of Borno State told the BBC that he had passed on information to the armed forces as to the whereabouts of this. Should they deny that? They cannot deny that. So if they cannot deny that, they cannot come out and say, we don't know where they are.
So you are happy with the handling of, with the way the whole thing has been handled?
That's not what I have said. If you look at it, you will find that the security problems are part of our political problems in this country. When Obasanjo was in power and he declared the state of emergency in Plateau State and Ekiti State, the governors were out for the 6 months. There was no question of anybody there. He put military administrator there in Ekiti State, Oluri and Chris Ali in Plateau State.
But the governors are not out this time around.
But in this time, yeah, because you see, you have a situation, those are PDP states. This time around, when Jonathan was going to do it, he was mindful of the fact that these were opposition states. And so, somehow, in order not to be accused of using high-handedness to indirectly take over the place, he left them in power. There's nothing you can do. There is no state of emergency.
Okay, internationally now, let's look at our image internationally.
Yes.
We've had not a very good time. These are not the best of times for us. What would you like to see in terms of how the leadership should move forward, you know, in terms of bringing Nigeria out of where we are?
You have to, first of all, deal with the problem we have now, which will not go away. The politicians are trying to hide, you know, put their heads in sand and feel that nobody is looking at us. We are down there. Unless we deal with the security problems, question of 2015 elections as a priority, all those are just, you know, as far as I'm concerned, totally irrelevant. You have to deal with the security. If the people don't have security, life and limb, there is no peace of mind. You cannot talk about any democracy. It doesn't exist.
Professor of Political Science, Lead University, Ibadan, Professor Alaba Ogunsowo, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10 tonight.
Thank you.
Well, as we've said, it's been 15 uninterrupted years of civil rule, but looking at the process so far, analysts have argued that Nigeria has experienced some growth, but not enough to celebrate. Several aspects of Nigeria's democratic life have also come under the spotlight, with the electoral system and political leadership taking a serious bashing. On our big story tonight, our political correspondent Seun Okimbaloye takes a critical look at the last 15 years and how the nation has fared post-military rule.
Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
The Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And that was how the return to democratic rule was sealed and delivered in 1999. 15 years after the transition, Nigeria has seen perhaps the good and in fact the ugly, made possible by a combination of factors. But how far have we come in our democratic experiment?
We've done well in some sectors, and there are sectors in which we have performed abysmally low. Then on the side, we have also scored very high in corruption.
Well, I think the last 15 years have been a huge disappointment for our people. The politicians have done well for themselves, because you know what the politicians were 15 years ago, what they are today.
Perhaps for the first time since the beginning of the democratic journey, opposition in Nigeria's politics has grown more, but there is still a big question over the quality of leadership and the character of our politicians.
Nigeria is a work in progress. What you call the opposition is itself a variant of the ruling party. I'm on record as having said that the various political parties represent the same bottle of beer. Only the labels of the bottles are different.
Elections are a major aspect of any democracy. Since 1999, Nigerians have gone to the polls 3 times for general elections, and another round is due in a few months. Achieving free and fair polls has been a major challenge. Violence and series of electoral malpractices have characterized our electoral process, with long lists of petitions in wait of results. In fact, the elections have largely been militarized in the bid to ensure peaceful polls.
when you want to do voter registration exercise, it's an event. I mean, it's not a process. We have not seen election and electoral issues as a process. Where you engage citizens, you're transparent all through the process.
Lack of the ability to deploy some modern tools which could help achieve free and fair polls has been a major hurdle for Nigeria and its electoral commission. The prospects of successfully using the innovations come 2015 remains bleak. Again, ahead of the 2015 polls, the state of security has largely been threatened, and analysts attribute some of the nation's troubles to the actions and the inactions of the political class. The debate over whether or not elections will hold in some of the states of the North under state of emergency is another subject that is generating controversies and, if not well handled, may likely cast a shadow over the 2015 polls. Most Nigerians have criticized the 1999 Constitution. The loud clamor is perhaps what has led to the constitution of the ongoing National Conference. Not unusual though, but the outcome is what Nigerians are eagerly anticipating.
Well, it's about the only thing that we have now. Because except the politicians who cannot read what's going on, or who are blinded by their ambitions, that will not know that if you don't serve a new set of engagement, if you don't lower tension, if you don't build some consensus, is this kind of country we are going to hold the election in 7 months?
If not for anything, the 15 years of democracy should be a thing of joy. The fact that Nigerians can seek their civil rights and move in liberty and freely should give a level of confidence. But above all, Nigeria is at a critical crossroads in its history. Lots of challenges appear to threaten its unity, economic and socio-political fabric. Notwithstanding, 2015 is also a strategic year for the nation to show just how well it can rise above overwhelming challenges. For the big story, Seun Okinbaloye reporting for Channels Television News.
Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Now, who says girl-child education is not improving? Or is it a case of what a man can do, a woman can do better? I'll let you think about that while you see our next report, where 3 primary school girls have emerged overall best students in the first Sterling Bank National Mathematics Competition. Presenting the prizes today at the Caleb International School, Lagos, the Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer of Sterling Bank, Mr. Abubakar Sulaiman, says the competition is one of the ways in which the bank supports the development of education in the country.
The One Customer Bank, Sterling Bank, embarks on a number of community support and corporate social responsibility initiatives. This time, it has taken its educational development scheme to primary school children.
You should be so proud of them.
Over 1,000 primaries 5 and 6 pupils entered for the mathematics competition, where 51 came out winners of a cash prize of 50,000 naira each.
There are 3 things in life that I wish every kid must have, every kid deserves to have. The first one is the ability to reason. And of all the fields of reasoning, mathematics is the most fluent. So if you are already a mathematician, you are well on the way to becoming a very reasonable person. Sterling Bank has committed to doing everything possible to make education what it deserves to be in Nigeria, to place education at the forefront of everything that we do.
They displayed their brilliance. And what is left for you parents to do is to nurture that brilliance that is already shining forth from them.
The best 3 overall, who are incidentally girls, won 200,000, 300,000 and 500,000 naira respectively.
I feel very happy and excited. I just want people to know that to win all these mathematics competitions, you need to read more and study more on mathematics.
Seeing what we saw here today gives me great hope about the future of this country. There is no way a country can have this level of brilliance and this level of commitment and will not be successful. So whatever problems we have today, I have no doubt in my mind that it will be overcome.
The girls have proven that actually they are good at what they're doing, which is maths, and they can be good at anything else that they do, be it maths, be it cooking, whatever it is that you think that a woman should be doing, she's probably able to do it well.
Sterling Bank has also promised to bring more to the table for the development of education, the Nigerian child, and to reward parents who will invest in their children's education. Henry Ogunjimi, Channels Television News.
Well, good for the girls. Now, the High Court sitting in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, has declared as valid and legitimate the election held on May the 10th, 2014, which brought into office Mr. Chinedu Okoronkwo and 10 others as the National Executive Committee members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. The court restrained Mr. Obasi Lawson from further interfering directly or indirectly with the management and control of the affairs of IFMAN nationwide. Presiding Justice Valentine Ashi made this declaration in a judgment delivered on May the 28th in Abuja in a suit brought before him by Mr. Chinedu Okoronkwo and 10 other plaintiffs against Mr. Obasi Lawson. The court also ordered the plaintiffs to take possession and have unimpeded access to the offices of the National Secretariat of IPMAN, located at number 41, Nasingbe Eyadema Street, Asokoro, Abuja. In his judgment, Justice Ashi said that with the pending appeal and notice of motion for stay of judgment, Mr. Obasi acted in breach and clear disregard of the law when he purported to conduct elections and constitute a new neck of IPMAN. The court therefore held that his purported swearing-in and the elections he conducted are nullified for being products of illegality.
First Bank, truly the first.
Hello and welcome to Business News on the News at 10. I am Adeshewa Josh. Financial markets in the country are closed today to mark Democracy Day. At the currency markets, the Naira is to 162 Naira 80 kobo to the greenback, weaker than Tuesday's close of 162 Naira 72 kobo per dollar. Well, dealers had expected dollar sales from oil companies, which started last week, to continue to support the Naira, but that didn't happen. At its last forex auction for the week, the central bank offered $300 million at 155 Naira 73 kobo, but sold $244.48 million at 155 Naira 73 kobo per dollar. Now, Harriet Agbayin joins us now with a recap of activities in the last 3 days of trading at the Nigerian stock market.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Let's take you through trading activities for the first 3 days of the week before the holiday. Now, the local bourse resumed the week negative. A sell-off in blue chip stocks like Dangote Cement, Nigerian Breweries, Nestle and Zenith Bank pulled the all-share index down by 0.19%. Well, the key broad index closed at 39,755.47 points, while market capitalization lost about 25.91 billion naira to close at 13.13 trillion naira. Now, on Tuesday, market transactions reversed Monday's negative sentiment to close upbeat, boosted by price gains recorded by some major market movers, including Dangote Cement. The key benchmark index jumped by 0.77% to cross the 40,000 psychological level with a higher market capitalization of 13.22 trillion naira. A bullish sentiment continued at the market on Wednesday, despite price losses recorded by some market movers as the key benchmark index closed 0.56% higher. The all-share index closed at 40,286.76 points, while market capitalization rose by 74.16 6.47 billion naira to 13.30 trillion naira, supported by gains in blue chip stocks, including Guarantee Trust Bank, Zenith Bank, FBN Holdings, and Nigerian Breweries. Well, the market resumes on Friday, the last trading day of the week and the month of May. And market operators expect the positive momentum recorded in the last 3 trading days to continue. But that's the stock market report. I'm Harriet Agbenyi.
Thanks a lot, Harriet. That's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues shortly, but we will leave you with closing figures from major markets around the world where obviously there aren't any public holidays.
Truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's Super Eagles arrive Philadelphia in preparation for next week's friendly against Greece. That will be on sports. Do join us again.